Hey everybody, Jeff Reinhardt here with you. How are you? LL League Football Talking Points, Week 7, finally done. Another Monday night game. Columbia knocked off Anvil Cleona 34-8 on Monday night up at Columbia. Got to see that. There's some notes on the page from that game. And a podcast with Brian Flory, who's a heck of a player for Columbia. Very underrated. I don't know how many people see the Tide often, but for a single A school, Section 3, they don't always get a ton of headlines, but I'll tell you what, Brian Flory's a heck of a player, so take a look for that podcast, give a listen. Neat kid, heck of a linebacker, really good. Okay, talking points. There's a lot going on if you haven't heard, so this stuff's off the top of my head. I'm just going to let her rip. These are 5 things that are on my mind. LL League football. Here we go. Ready? Number 1. See, have you heard anything about the LS Garden Spot game by chance? Wow. A lot of fallout. Just a quick recap. Hail Mary, Nate Shank throws one up. End of the game, Garden Spot's leading. And Dan Neff from LS and Tanner Reed from Garden Spot both get their hands on the ball. They're both up in the air. Neff, if you watch the tape, Neff seems to have control and have a foot down, which is touchdown, and that's what the ref called. But the play kind of kept going, and Tanner Reed yanked the ball out of there. So when both kids hit the ground, Reed had the ball. But the call was touchdown because Neff had 2 hands on it and a foot down. So in high school ball, you need 1 foot down and possession. And in high school rules, if there's a jump ball situation, it's advantage offense. So I feel for both teams here. I could see why it was called a touchdown because Neff had possession and a foot down, but I can also see why Garden Spot is griping because Tanner Reed yanked it out of there. So I guess the other thing that I need to bring up is there really is no football maneuver kind of rule in high school. So Neff didn't really have to come down and turn or come down and cradle or anything like that. So I thought the ref made the right call because he saw it. He saw 2 hands and a foot, and it's a touchdown. And I wrote this on Sunday. I just thought it might have been premature because the play didn't really end because the kids were kind of still in the air and Neff had 1 foot down and Reed probably had no feet down, but had the ball. Crazy. I've never seen a play like this, and I've been covering LL football since 1992. So I've never, ever, 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 never seen a jump ball, 4 hands, 4 feet. Who's got it? It was messy. So it is what it is, and I never say that or write that, but it is what it is. That was the call. It stands. There can be no protest. And who knows, maybe these teams will meet again. This is kind of like LS Mannheim last year, remember? Crazy ending in that game. Mannheim got another shot at LS later, so we'll see if Garden Spot gets another shot at LS. But last thing on this point, I think you tip the cap to Neff and Reed, who both made unbelievable plays in a pressure cooker game. How often do Hail Marys work? So tip your cap to those guys. And we move on, and this will all blow over. Hopefully my inbox will not be as full with emails about this game. And I ended up getting a couple of really nice emails. Some good stories came out of this. So there you have it. LS Garden Spot. Let's put it to bed. Number 2. Big game on Friday. Only big first place showdown game on the docket here for Week 8. Wilson Bulldogs come to Mannheim Township, first place on the line. They're both 4-0 and 6-1. Gutsy win for Township last week to beat Penn Manor 36-22, trailing in the 3rd quarter. Total trap game. We talked about that last week. So Township took care of business, lived up to the billing on its end, and sets up the big first place showdown. I've told you this a million times. I'll probably tell you again later in the week. Wilson hasn't lost a Section 1 game since 2007 at Mannheim Township. So Streaks have a chance here to snap that streak. 26 in a row for Wilson in section play. So winner here obviously gets the huge leg up with 2 weeks to play. Wilson still has to play Penn Manor, which has been pesky. I got a blog from this game, by the way. I'm going to go over to Township. Wilson at Manheim Township. Huge, gigantic, big boy first place game, Section 1 on the line. Talking point number 3. Did you see Deontay Cherry's play? Oh my goodness. So thankful to Blue Ridge TV. Those guys are fantastic. They ended up broadcasting that game, and they were able to ship over some video clips from that game. Cherry picks off Tyler Farnan's Hail Mary, big Hail Mary week in the LL, right at the end of the first half, and he's going down, and he laterals over to Krishan Davis. He starts running around, and he's going down. Tip of the cap to Cherry for getting back up and getting behind Davis and staying in the play. That's heads up. Davis laterals over to Cherry, and he goes 93 yards the other way for a touchdown. Fabulous play. Great. Funky, fun, pick a word, but just a dynamite play. If you haven't seen it, it's on the page here. Click around, you'll see it. Blue Ridge sent a really good clip of the play live, and then an end zone shot, which is really cool. So, great play by Cherry, and Davis too, with his lateral to get it back to his teammate. Fun. Probably, if not the best play I've seen this year, top 2. Mike Burke's pick on a fake punt and pick 6 was pretty cool. There were no laterals involved, but that was a great heads up football IQ kind of play. Those are my top 2 plays of the year so far, 3 weeks to go. Okay, talking point number 4, 2 1,000-yard rushers. These last 2 are kind of stat things. Joe Welk from Solanco cracked 1,000 yards on Friday night, first back to go over 1,000. 1,063 yards for Mr. Welk, who's averaging 15 yards per carry. Wow. Anthony Brown from Conestoga Valley hit 1,000 on Saturday. Didn't have a big game. He only had 46 yards against Manheim Central. But he's also over 1,000 with 1,021. So 2,000-yard backs in Week 7. Joe Gamble from Hempfield has 971 going into Friday, so he should get to 1,000 this week. And I think Rodney Gillen needs about 140 yards in the Wilson Township game to crack 1,000. So a couple of 1,000-yard backs to talk about. Last one, number 5, more stats. 2 quarterbacks joined Elite Company on Friday. Nate Shank in the crazy game against Garden Spot went over 4,000 passing yards. 4-year starter Shank. I think 3rd game or 4th game of his freshman season, he got the gig, and he's been there ever since, and he's been great. So he joined the 4,000-yard club. And Alex Troutman from Lebanon joined the 5,000-yard passing club. How about that? I missed that in my notes Sunday. I apologize. There are 1.865 million things going on, so I'm trying to keep up with everything. While trying to do the usual football stuff. So I apologize, Alex. I missed that. I missed that cool stat, so I'm waiting to get his career numbers to update that list. And when I do, I'll definitely get a post up on that. So Nate Shank, 4,000-yard club. Alex Troutman, 5,000-yard club. Wow. Okay, those are your talking points. Week 8 coming up. Should be fun. Reminder, live blog, Friday night. I'll get you Wilson at Manheim Township, so come find me about 6:30 on there. And that's all I have for now. Video previews coming up in a couple of days and all the usual stuff. Talk to you soon. Thanks.